So we'll go for race 2 then at Dragon Trail for round 2, and with Sean winning the first race from Adam and Lewis, that's how we'll start this race. It's literally the race results from race 1, so no need for qualifying, and there you are. So look for your favourite driver or someone you know, and that's where they are. That's the result from the first race. And there's a guy that needs to do a lot better than he did in the last race. Ben only coming home 10th for his debut with the Mitsubishi. Not a good start, but it's his teammate that's grabbing all the limelight with the win in the very first race, and 3 different cars in the top 3, so the rules are working. And we're away. I'll stop talking rubbish. Wheel spin from the Mustang, which will probably hurt it, and it looks like Sean's away to a great start, as you'd expect with a 4-wheel drive. And into the first corner, the Mustang's coming back, and he's side by side, takes the lead on the outside. It's a brilliant start for Brian, who's up to 3rd at this point. And indeed, Adam does take the lead, and indeed Brian is 3rd, so well done Brian, keep going mate. And down the hill they come, and now it's just a case of waiting for everyone to settle down to see the order. But again, it looks like another good start for Ben, who's up to about 6th, but see if he doesn't throw this result away. And there's another BMW off at the same corner as last time, and this time it's Leon. You can tell because he's got the orange graphic on the back of his car as opposed to Liam's blue. But Adam leads through this fast sweeper ahead of Sean. Brian brilliant in 3rd, 4th for Nick, so even Nick's got a great start as well. And it looks like it's Ash that's made the worst start out of the top guys. He's down, oh no, he's 5th, so that's where he was. Sorry, take that back. And then the rest, like I say, it's kind of hard. Everyone's about 4 wide at the back there, so we need to let it settle down. But the 2 RAC cars make contact and spin. Andrew, I'm going to guess that is yes. And a bit of a pincer movement there, 3 cars into 1 space. And looks like Ben's dropped a couple of positions as well, down to 9th place. And through the bollock chicane they go. Everyone seems to have got around this time a little bit there from one of the RAC cars, just a little scratch. It's Adam that leads the way as they complete the first lap, although Sean seems to have gathered himself after losing a little bit of ground. They're way ahead of 3rd, so I don't know what's happened to Lewis, but he's way down. He's down to 7th place, the guy that really threatened to win the race last time. He's got a lot of work to do. These guys will be fairly clear by the time they get through. Ash is up to 3rd place at this moment, so 1-3 for Mustang, 4th for Jeff, and it's Brian that's dropping back, so he's dropped back to 5th now as Jeff swings around the outside, and Lewis cuts down the inside on the exit and does take the position. The RAC guys going into combat as well again, and Rob's had a terrible first lap as well. He's down to 12th, so a lot of comeback races needed here. Will these 2 play fair? Unlikely. We'll try and get past Dean. More contact, so Dean's driving his own race around the outside. Ooh, didn't see Adam by the looks of it, and more contact, and Will takes the position off his teammate. And Leon's at the back with that damage, and obviously race ruining spin. Jeff's 5th then, Brian's 6th, trying to see who's 7th. It looks like it's Nick, and it is. Nick's down the inside, takes 6th place from Brian. Ben now trying to take the position off the Subaru on the exit, but not close enough. In fact, Brian's fighting back on the outside. Subaru always was good off the corner, and he does retake the position. Fair play to Brian. Brian's coming in with a new attitude this season, and he's like, I'm not going to be a backmarker this season, I want to fight. And he's basically done it since the start. And who's that coming through? Liam looks like coming through after another terrible start. Brian will not be denied at this moment. Ben into the back of the Honda, the Hyundai, and that'll be damage, and that'll cost him speed in the straight, so he's probably just better to go in, and he is. So another disastrous race for Ben in the Mitsubishi, and looks like Rob there taking 10th place away from Andrew. 12th looks like that's Chris. Will stops as well with his damage, and Leon is about half a lap behind already, as these guys now flash down and they got a hell of a lead. Lewis though is up to 3rd, so he can start hacking away at it, and if these guys start battling like I think they probably will, they'll be there pretty quickly. So Adam a little bit quicker in this race than he was the first race by the looks of it, although he did set fastest lap, but wasn't quite as consistently quick as the front two. I can't even see Lewis in the background, so not a player at this at the moment. There he is. About 3-4 seconds behind, I would say. And still in 6th place it's Brian, but looks like Liam will scuttle down the inside, and he does, locked up a little bit, but he's through. Although Brian likes that outside line, and he's using it again by the looks of it. He won't give up. And again, Brian, he does it again. He says, nah, not today. I've had enough of last season, I'm going to fight. So if you want position, you're going to have to come and take it this year. I'm not going to give away easy positions. But although it looks like Liam did set up the inside move into the last corner, just looking through to make sure everyone's still on the track, and Lewis is not. Striking up sparks as he disappears off the last corner. And it's Ash in 4th place, doing a great job. 5th is Jeff, 6th Liam, so yeah, Liam's got ahead of Brian. We'll see that now. There you go. And then there's Brian. Dean doing a good job. And the rest come flying through. This battle's not over though, so Andrew's hanging on to the back of Rob, who had some serious pace in race 1. Driving well. And there's Chris in 12th with 13th, Ben. Again, let's just ignore that. The battle for the lead still intense. Still pretty much as we left it. Nice corner this one, nice swooping entry. Just got to kind of clobber that curb on the inside to drag you through. But Liam seems to be the man on the move, catching up with the front guys. And Rob now is starting to gap Andrew. And Ben has passed Chris up into 12th place. Whoop-de-doo. Subaru looking great in the Pertec livery, so try and point out these liveries when I see them, but that's the Pertec livery, that's Chris and Brian in that car. That's Ben and Sean in the Alfa Romeo liveried car. The REC cars are Will and Dean for tonight, but I think by the time we get to the next round that will be different. A couple of people missing. And there we have the Rapid Fit car, which is Adam leading the race, and we've got in 4th place for Ash. Drivers' numbers are picked by themselves, and the drivers' names are above that number on the door, so if you want to see what their names are, they're on the car for you. Just see if the Mitsubishi gains anything on the straight, and the answer to that is emphatically no, which tells you the Mustang's got plenty of mumbo under the bonnet. This is where you expect Sean to gain, is out of those tight corners, the medium speed to tight corners. You can see he's taking a couple lengths back, and you carry that down the hill. It should be a bit feistier on the brakes, but Adam's just gone deep sideways into the corner to cover it, and then Sean again will be fairly quick out of that corner. This gives you an idea on the relative strengths of the cars when we've got rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive on the Renaults, and then four-wheel drive on the Mazda, Subarus and Mitsubishis. Rear-wheel drive on the Toyota, the Hyundai, and the BMW, of course. So where will the next overtake come from? And it looks like it might happen now. It's Nick and Rob. Rob's trying to go the long way round, and he's done it. Nick might get the cut back, but nope, can't do it. So another good overtake from Rob, the newcomer. I'm quite impressed with. And he's got the job done. Brian's still defending for his life, this time against Dean. Dean just taps the back end as he turns in, and the game being the game, that pushes him wide and loses him a lot of time, where it should just be a little scuff, but never mind. Through the bollock chicane we go. Everything's starting to close up a little bit now. And speaking of bollocks, and there's Ben back in 12th. And Leon having an extremely lonely race in 15th. But he will score a point for that. Meanwhile, Adam and Sean still just as close as they were before. With that sort of lap time though, Lewis will be there pretty soon. He's lapping about a second a lap quicker, so he will get there. You can see him now in the background, whereas we weren't seeing him before. So he's still got 6 laps to catch these guys, so he's still got half the race. Sean though with a great run out that corner, maybe he's seen that and he's trying to retake or get the lead that he had in the first race, and see if he can pull away. But Adam seems to know where the Mitsubishi stronger, and he's covering all the bases. And the names on the cars are the driver's second names, just because I'm calling them by their first names, so try not to get too confused. Liam with a great run against Jeff, but Jeff's Renault is not a slouch in the straight line, and it holds the position. Dean's got 7th at last from Brian, who's now trying to hold off the charging Rob. And looks like Rob's going to be okay. As Nick kicks up the dust. Did seem to struggle with this section actually during the whole weekend, and there's a very lonely driver in 12th. 13th and 14th pretty much the same as well, all spaced out, but not spaced out as this battle for the lead, and it's been great from Adam really. He's soaking up a lot of pressure and he's doing it well. Lewis is ever closing. You've got to put your money on this being a 3-car race before the end of the race. Flash of lights from Sean, so he's getting a little bit frustrated now. He wants his turn at the front, see if they can pull clear away from Lewis and try and stop him gaining. And across the line again to start lap 7. These races are all roughly about 20 minutes, so yeah, I think this one ran just a slight bit over 20 minutes, I think it was. And in the background there's a battle, and it's Liam trying to get around Jeff. And Jeff with a straight line speed, but Liam with a braking, and he's done it. 7th is Dean, 8th is Rob, 9th is Brian, again doing a great job. 10th was Nick, 11th is Andrew, and 12th is Ben, just starting to catch the midfield now. And you're seeing Lewis even more strongly now in the pictures. He's sort of creeping into them. There they are, look, there he is. He's definitely closing them in. Sean will know that. He's not stupid. He'll see the gap coming down and he'll want to get ahead of Adam, and that's why he's flashing away. He's getting frustrated. Be careful, Adam, he's Scottish. Treat him like a back end of a donkey. And Adam's just covering every opportunity. Sean doesn't have the straight line speed to do anything about it, so it's going to have to be in a corner somewhere. And that was a good run through there, and it's put him side by side with the Mustang and now into the lead, and they should have that done by the inside. He's flashing, I don't know who, but he's down the inside. It's not unlike Sean to flash. Says his wife, and he's taken the lead. Runs out a bit wide though. Is that enough for Adam to retake the position with the power of the Mustang? And I think it is. He's through again, so Sean will be kicking himself for that, for not covering it. And he's actually back down a second now. Lewis is really close. Lewis will have the slipstream now, so this is now, we can consider it a three-way battle because it's just a matter of time before he gets there. And Adam leads a great bit of driving, just waited for Sean to make a mistake and retook the position. Liam locking up. And 4th, 5th, it's Ash. 6th is Jeff. So Ash and Jeff doing a great job. And here's Brian with now the attentions of Nick, and there's Andrew now getting the attentions of Ben. So everyone seems to be having a fight except for Chris and Leon, unfortunately. But here is our freeway. It's the 3 different cars, which is great to see. It's the Ford, the Mitsubishi and the Toyota. So Japan versus the USA. In terms of liveries though, it's the Ford Rapid Fit, the Alfa Romeo team livery, and the Alan Mann Ford Racing livery from the 60s. And now Lewis looked like he was going to get a run there, but he thought better of it because he'd be on the outside anyway. So, and the chicane's horrible and you kind of need to see where you're going. But it looks like Lewis got through there a bit quicker. He did, not even a bit, a lot. He's carrying about 10 miles an hour more. He's got it done. So Adam now with the surprise lead, and can he break away if these two are going to start fighting? Adam won in a race towards the end of the season, I think it was at Goodwood. So he looked to add to that this season. He did a great car. Horsepower is not the issue, let's put it that way. Goodwood up next, actually, on our track list, so that will maybe suit that car down to the ground. That's all about power. So the battle for second and third's raging with Lewis in front. Sean won't give up though. Lewis is a little bit sideways in that car from time to time as well, so there'll be an opportunity, I would have thought, at some point. Sean's not going to get through down here, and this corner's not really an overtaking place, it's so fast on the entry, so through the back end of the track. Adam just sort of edging away, but that looked like a bit of a mistake. He's a bit wide. These two now getting into it. Sean's pretty good around the outside here. We saw that in the first race, but Lewis has also got quite a light car, so it'd be quite hard to outbrake that little thing. And meanwhile, just flash back to fourth. It's now Liam, and Ash is fifth. 11th place for Ben. He's got past Andrew. Right, so Lewis is leading. So he must have got it through the chicane ahead of Adam. He would have overtaken him on the exit of the chicane like he did to Sean a lap ago. He's very quick through there. But he hasn't got American horses, and around the outside comes the Mustang. Lewis needlessly moves across him on the straight, which is completely retarded and shouldn't be allowed. Just stay on your line. There's no point trying to spin someone out on the straight. It's just pointless. Free breast. This won't work. Who's going to back out? Will they back out? Sean backs out a little bit on Adam, and Lewis just stays really wide just to make sure there's not an incident. And well, Lewis went from first to third, and Adam retakes the lead, and now Lewis is back up the inside. He should have the inside for this corner, and retakes second place from Sean, so that's a better overtake. See, he can do it. He can race when he wants to, just every time loses the head a little bit here and there, where he just does stupid things that aggravates people. Like moving across on the straight is annoying. Down the inside from Sean is probably right to back out of that. He looked a bit desperate, but Adam leads. And here's the other Mustang doing a great job in fifth, which he was in the first race. Dean looking for points in eighth. Ninth is Brian, but so at 10th for Nick, and Ben has caught that group after his pit stop. They look to gain at least a couple positions to score some points for the Mitsubishi Alpha team. Up the inside comes Lewis and retakes the lead. Smooth move. Again, very good overtakes when he wants to. But it's just this moving across on the straight stuff that it's just going to end in tears. And now Adam's at it. So, well, they both need to be pulled up for that. It's just absolutely pointless. Gains you nothing. Just stay on your line on the straight. Don't move over on people. It's completely pointless. And Sean's probably just sat there thinking, if I sit here, they're going to have each other off at some point. And, like I say, I wonder what your opinion is on it, but personally I think it's just unnecessary. But it's given us great racing, I guess. So Ben has dispatched one car box of it, which was Nick, and now he's heading off after Brian, who's still doing a great job though, still inside the top 10, and that wasn't always the case last season. So he's obviously clicked a little bit with the Subaru. Got a bit wide there though. Managed to cut it back using the four-wheel drive, but that's put Ben onto his trumpet. But it's not really an overtaking place down here, is there? Surely. Looks down the inside, and Brian's given him a bit of room, but he's gone wide and cuts back and comes straight across the front of the Alpha and almost wipes him out. And Brian's gonna have heavy damage from that. And it just looked like he well, Sort of Ben thought about the move, Brian thought about giving him space, and by the time he'd done that he was off. And that's a shame for Brian. He's been doing such a good job. I'm sure even if he pits he'll get some points, so yeah, disappointment for him. But it could have been a bigger crash. And he went off at some speed. Meanwhile, in this game of like musical chairs up front, it's now Adam leading from Lewis and Sean, but will Sean get round the outside as we enter the last lap? Now, who was going to win this? We thought we had Lewis winning in the last race, but there was a crash at the chicane, so I'm not going to count my chickens until we get down to the last corner. I still think this might even go down the last corner. Sean's dropped back slightly there, but I'm sure he'll gather it all up by the time we get to this hairpin. Lewis going around with his hazard lights on. Let's, well, imminent breakdown possibly, I don't know. Fifth for Rob. Great comeback for Rob. Remember, he's way down at the start, and he's just ahead of Ash, who's sixth. So Ash doing another great drive. I think he wanted more, but to be honest with you, the pace of those front three, it's kind of hard to grab that. He was running their pace though in the first race when he was in clean air, but yeah, I think that's pretty much all he can do, to be honest, is get fifth and sixth. I mean, that's a great job. Anyway, with only a few corners left, Adam's got the lead. Lewis is looking down the inside, which will become the outside through the bollock chicane, and though Adam keeps it, Lewis flicks over the curbs. Now it's all about the exit on this flip-flop chicane, and who's got it? Just look at the relative speeds of the cars. It looks like Adam did the best job, actually. Now if you just fold it to the inside and just leave no space, he'll have the race, surely. Lewis switches to the outside late to try and get a run, but him and Sean are so close, and Lewis does the switch back, but gets a good run out the corner, but he won't have the same power as the Mustang, so I'm pretty sure this is a done deal for Adam. They come across the line and Adam's gonna win, and he does by a car's length from Lewis and Sean. In fourth place it's Liam with a much better race, no damage, and we heard he was spun out in the last race. Fifth for Rob, great comeback. Sixth for Ash, brilliant race for him as well. He'll be pretty chuffed with that. Seventh for Dean, but he'll lose that on a penalty, so he'll finish eighth. So seventh for Jeff, much better from Jeff as well. So eighth for Dean, ninth for Ben, let's not talk about that. And 10th for Nick, right at the top 10 with, looks like, Andrew in 11th. Wait for Chris, yeah, Chris in 12th. And he's beat his teammate this time, Brian, who's there. You can see him in 13th coming into the picture. So it's the Pertec cars that struggle this race after being the RAC cars in the last race. So through comes Chris. It was circumstance, but he'd be happy about beating his teammate. Where is his teammate? Ah, there he is. We stopped for a cup of tea then, but nope, he finishes 13th. And there's the results for you, and join us shortly for the reverse grid race 3, everyone's favourite.